Hi everybody. So, whew, today's video is what to do and what not to do around service dogs. Now, a lot of people are not aware what you are and are not allowed to do around service dogs in the United States. So, in the United States, it is actually illegal to interfere with service dogs while they are working, meaning a service dog that you know, or a dog that you know is a service dog, or have reason to believe is a service dog. So even if you just think it might be a service dog, and you interfere with it in any way, it's illegal. So you can face up to $1,000 fine and or jail for up to 6 months, depending on the situation, what happens. When you distracted the service dog, did the service dog miss an alert for its owner, things like that. So we'll get into more detail on that in a moment. So today's video, obviously, I just told you what it was on. So I've got a few examples I will share with y'all throughout the video as we go on, so you'll just kind of have to bear with me for a moment while we do that, because I'm still trying to figure out get the hang of all of this. So again, what you should do around a service dog. So many people are either just naive or they're just ignorant when it comes to service dog laws, and they don't understand. Maybe they didn't learn growing up, maybe they just don't care, but a lot of people, will interact with service dogs whether they know they should or know they shouldn't. So we'll get on to that. So what you should do when you see a service dog, there's not many things you should do. There's only a few, so it should be pretty easy to remember. So when you see a service dog, you should leave them alone. Completely leave them alone. That means no talking to the dog. Don't try to pet the dog. Don't sit there and stare at the dog and try to make eye contact. So it's okay to look. Okay, don't stare and don't make eye contact with the dog. So service dog handlers, what we say, there's this thing that we say: no touch, no talk, and no eye contact. Well, I understand the touching, and I can get the talking, but why not eye contact? Eye contact is really, really big part of dogs in their communication. So when you make eye contact with your dog, more than likely your dog's going to want to get up and come over to you, things like that. So eye contact is very big with dogs and with their how they understand things, things like that. It's part of their conversation, their language. We'll say something like that. So we don't make eye contact. I mean, if the dog happens to look up at you, don't sit there and stare at it. You're going to look away. You're not going to continue to just stare at the dog and continue to hold that eye contact. Break the contact. Now, service dogs, yes, they are trained to ignore people, but just because a dog, even if it's a service dog and it is no longer in training as a service dog, and it's a fully trained service dog, you still have to remember they're still dogs and they're not robots. So they can still get distracted and they can still miss alerts for their handlers. So what else should you do when you see a service dog? You should give them space. If you see a service dog team, don't go up on them, don't try to crowd them. Even if it's just, like, say you're in line at a store and there's a team in front of you. Even if you can just take an extra one step back, just to give them that extra step of space, that is so helpful. And honestly, most handlers are going to appreciate that so much. Like I said earlier, you never know what someone's disability is. There's psychiatric service dogs for people with disabling anxiety, PTSD. And then, of course, you have your medical service dogs that help alert with your medical problems, mobility service dogs to help you move, pick things up, etc. There's so many service dogs for so many different things. And, of course, unless it's like mobility and you're in a wheelchair, you're not going to be able to guess what problem that handler has. So giving them space, for someone like myself who has crippling PTSD, my PTSD is absolutely horrendous. When someone offers me even that extra foot of space, it helps me relax so much. Like, I don't feel as crowded. I feel a lot less worried, and that extra foot, it helps me relax, and feel comfortable so much more. So the 2 things you should do: don't interact with the dog in any way, and try to give them space if you can. If you can't, you know, that's understandable. You don't have to go completely out of your way. You don't have to walk 10 feet around the team, you know, things like that. You don't have to be, I guess, you don't have to I don't know the word to use. You don't have to give them an incredible amount of space. Just give them that extra foot, and, you know, just so that, you know, because again, you don't know what issues the handler has. That way, you know, you're giving the handler space, and then you're also giving the dog some space to do the dog's job. So what you shouldn't do with service dogs, y'all are going to have to bear with me here because I'm going to be trying to go back and forth to show you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and shrink myself really fast. And we're going to pull this up, and bear with me here, okay? So what you should not do with service dogs. Let me mute that.
Oh,
okay, so this is one of
the car wreck we were in.
Service dog tracks. You see here?
No, please.
He goes to pet my service dog. Let me see if I can freeze it right.
Oh.
My back.
Oh,
the car wreck we were in.
Service dog. So he's clicking to him. He's trying to get his attention. He goes, "Hi, buddy," and he goes to try to pet him. And you can see this, of course, you know, my dog, he's still in training. He still has a lot to learn. So he hears he sees a hand being put down. He's like, okay, well, I want to say hi. Because my dog, he is a friendly dog. He will sniff and let you, you know, kind of sniff you. But that's really about all he's going to do. He's not going to really let, you know, sit there and let you pet him for 5 minutes. He's not really big into being petted by other people. He will allow it, but he's not that big into it. So this is one of those examples of what not to do with a service dog. Well, it's really 2. So not only is he trying to pet the service dog, but he is also, you know, vocally distracting him as well. So in an instance like this, what can happen? Well, my dog is now focused on someone else. You can see his attention is now on this other man. And so now my dog's attention is not on me. So my health problems could start acting up at any minute. I never know when it's going to happen. They're very random. So when my dog's not paying attention to me and is focused on someone else, he can miss an alert, and then I pass out. Whoa. And then I can pass out, because that's one of my medical issues, is I pass out a lot. So when I pass out because my dog is distracted, we're going to use this as an example. You know, if he was to distract my dog missed an alert just now, and then I passed out later, then that would be his fault. He could be fined or go to jail for it. Again, something like this, you're probably not going to get fined for. It kind of varies. I know him. I still told him in the video, you know, please don't do that. You know, he's working right now. And then I explained to him, you know, a lot of people don't actually know that, you know, it's illegal, things like that. So something like this, would I have appreciated if he wouldn't have tried to touch my dog? Yes, I would have. Max is vested. He very clearly has a vest on that says service dog, do not pet. And this was one of those moments where I was kind of feeling off. I wasn't feeling that great, but I was able to keep calm enough in this situation to try to be nice and try to educate a little bit. And my husband, who is right over here, also helped me in this situation. So what else should you not do with a service dog? Y'all are going to have to bear with me. Like I said,
See, those are the kind of things I believe are going to like that happen.
Still not going back far enough. Okay, hang on. I went back to you. Bear with me here, guys. Just bear with me. I'm gonna get it. Okay, so here we are. So this man behind us here, we were in line at Walmart for self-checkout. So a lot of people said that looks like we were not. We were not. He keeps moving his buggy, and you see here where he keeps almost hitting us, and then he hits me, which makes me hit my dog, which makes my dog be like, whoa, what's going on? And my dog turns around. So this is one of those instances on what you should not do. if you're in line somewhere, because we were in a line at self-checkout waiting for a box to come open, or one of the self-checkout registers to open so that we could check out. And if you look right here behind me, oops, of course, because I moved the mouse, y'all won't be able to see it now, but if you look right behind me, he is literally right up on me, and he kept moving the buggy up, kept moving it up, almost hit Max multiple times, almost hit me, and what the part y'all didn't see is he almost actually hit my friend that I was with as well. So I understand, like, if you're wanting to get past someone, say this was an aisle, if you wanted to get past and I was standing there in the way, you still shouldn't try to run us over. Maybe say, hey, excuse me, can I get by? Something like that. But in an instance like this where we were in a line and he kept on and kept on and kept on pushing the buggy, and kept on almost hitting us, this is a big no. If he was to have actually hit my service dog and would have injured him, he could have gotten in a lot of trouble for that. It varies state to state, but federal law, you're not allowed to distract service dogs, and state to state, it also varies on states. Like, some states may not have any law really on it, and you can't go through the state. Maybe you have to go through federal law to get justice, things like that. So in an instance like this, if he would have hurt my service dog, he would have then been held accountable, and he could have possibly faced a fine and or jail, because my dog, again, is obviously marked as a service dog, and doing something like that, it is not only a distraction, but it is also harassment of a service animal, and harassing a service animal or service dog owner is also illegal. So not only was this a distraction, but it was also harassment, and it's something that you should not ever do. You should never try to run anyone over, but you know, definitely let's not try to run over, you know, someone with a service dog just because we're standing in line and, you know, we're waiting to go to one of the registers, because all the registers are full. So again, like I said, y'all bear with me. So this video has gotten pretty popular, and not in many ways, or not.
If you don't mind.
So in this video that I posted, it's on my in my videos. We were at Walmart. A lot of people, this has been very controversial with a lot of people. A lot of people are like, oh, you passed out because they talked to your dog. No, I pass out because that's just part of my medical issues. I pass out sometimes. So there was 2 women and 2 children that were walking by, and they stopped over right out of camera view in front of me, and they were standing there, and they were interacting with their kids, telling their kids, pointing at us and telling their kids, look at the puppy, look at the puppy, look at the puppy. Now in this video, I come across as rude, and that was not my intention at all, was to come across rude, but again, it's kind of just what happened. I felt like I was going to pass out. I'd been feeling pretty out of it for, about an hour or so, feeling like I might pass out, and at this point, I was relying on my dog to let me know, hey, you are about to pass out and you need to lay down, because he'll let me know a couple minutes before I pass out so that I'm not, you know, guessing all day. So again, I was not intentionally trying to come off rude in this video, but it was one of those things where, you know, I told them, well, I asked them, you know, can you please teach your children not to interact or talk with a service dog instead of, you know, like teaching them to interact. Those may not have been my exact words, but that's the drift of it. Y'all can go find the video in my videos if you want to watch the video. So a lot of people said, oh, you can't fuss at children like that. I was not fussing at the children by no means. I have a child. I have a very young brother. So, you know, I'm used to kids, and I'm not at all upset with the children. Who I was upset with in this video was I was upset with the parents, because the parents were initiating trying to get the children to interact with my service dog in any way. So walking by and saying, look at the puppy as you walk by, and, you know, kind of looking as you walk by, that's one thing. To stop in front of us, stand there and point and repeatedly say, look at the puppy, that's another. Not only is that a distraction, but to me, I feel like it's kind of rude, because you're just standing there pointing at me and pointing at my dog, and, you know, on top of that, you know, I'm not feeling well and I'm waiting on my dog to alert. So if my dog would have gotten any more distracted, because he did get slightly distracted in this video, but again, he's still in training, he's still learning, he's still got some focus and things like that he's got to overcome and get better on. But let's say he had gotten more distracted.
Because I'm not feeling good, and when your kids start talking to him and he misses an alert and I pass out on the floor, that kind of sucks. Thank you.
No problem. Have a great day.
You too.
Are you okay, brother?
No, not really.
You need anything else?
I'm here with my husband. He's right there.
Oh, okay.
I'm okay. I'm in good
Okay, I
hands.
want to make sure you're going to be okay.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, and then the video speeds up, time lapse. So again, I'd already been feeling like I was going to pass out just from my medical problems, not because someone said something to me. And I'm waiting. Max is slightly unfocused here. I gave him the focus command a couple of times. I'm telling him to focus. I'm trying to get his attention, focus back onto me. I'm making him turn around to make him look at me and focus more. He lays down. I want him back up. And then here, I didn't catch it. That paw, where he put his paw, that was his alert. And when he alerts, he looks at me in the eyes. So that's how I always know that he's letting me know, hey, you're gonna pass out. But his alert, he didn't do much else after this because he was so distracted, because when we had came in, we had a man try to pet him, and then of course, you know, the people stopping and staring and pointing at us, repeating puppy, 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 had him pretty distracted this day. So he was not very focused. He did alert, which I was grateful for. So I was pretty dizzy at this point, so I gave myself a second to try to let the dizziness go away. And then after, you know, I felt like I could get down, I started to get down. I just set the GoPro down. I told Max to do DPT, which is deep pressure therapy. I repeatedly tried to get him into the same place or into the right place, and I'm just waiting. He still wasn't there yet, but deep pressure therapy, it helps shorten episodes. It can help him listen to my breathing, check my heart rate, and it also keeps me calmer when I wake up. So again, the floors were super slippery here. There he goes. Got it perfect that time. It was hard for him because it was super, super slippery. So this is why you should not ever distract a service dog, because if he had been any more distracted, he would not have been able to alert. So I'm laying here. I'm not feeling well. Again, this video is time-lapsed. So I'm petting him. I'm trying to relax. I'm trying to calm down. And then I ended up passing out at some point. I don't know when. Somewhere around here. My husband comes over, he lifts my arm, he checks on me, realizes I'm passed out. Max does his deep pressure therapy. He stays put where he should. My husband's over there eating raspberries. But this is one of the reasons, I'm not going to play the whole thing. This is one of the reasons you should not distract a service dog. Because when you distract a service dog, you can cause them to miss crucial, vital alerts like that, because you never know what the handler's disabilities are. So if you distract him and he misses that alert, he can't tell me that I'm going to pass out and that I need to lay down. So I can continue to walk and then I drop. If I hit my head the wrong way, or if anyone was to hit their head the wrong way, it could kill them. You know, also take into account concussions, brain trauma, things like that. So you have to be so careful when interacting with a service dog. Now, I've had a lot of people ask me, can I talk to the owner? Can I talk to the dog's owner? Yes, you can. Now, if it looks like maybe they aren't doing too well, maybe they're just sitting there, maybe they aren't feeling that well, maybe not try to question them too much, and maybe try to, ask, you can ask if they're okay. That is completely fine. I've had questions like that as well. It is completely fine to ask if the handler is okay. Sorry guys, I have a baby. I'm taking care of my son's outside in his little pen on the porch. So it is completely fine to talk to the owners. It is completely fine to ask them if they're okay. If you are worried, if you see someone unconscious, if you feel the need to call 911, you can. If you saw them lay down and they did not ask for help and they just kind of laid down, maybe just kind of stick around, make sure that they're okay. And again, if you feel like you need to call 911, you can. Sometimes you can check Sometimes some people will have a medical bracelet, and that'll have their medical information on it. Sometimes they'll have patches on their dog's vest that says medical info inside, and you can go up to the dog, you can unzip that, check the medical info, see what it says, see if they're, say, diabetic and they pass out and it says that they're diabetic but they're unconscious on the floor, yes, call 911. And so sometimes there'll be signs on the dog saying, don't call 911, I pass out or I faint, it's okay. Or, you know, call 911 or my medical info is here. And so y'all can check on the vest to see, you know, if there's any indications of what you should or should not do. If there's no indications of what you should or should not do, and if you are concerned, yes, you should call 911. So again, if you see a service dog in PERS team, you can talk to the handler. You can go up, you can talk to them. Don't interact with the dog at all. Don't give the dog any sort of your attention. Just, if you want to say, comment about how beautiful the dog is, don't look at the dog and say, you're so beautiful, I love you so much. Don't ever look at the dog and don't ever talk to the dog. You talk to the handler. I love your dog is beautiful. What breed is he or she? You can do that. If you go up to someone, don't ever try to pet the dog ever. That's probably the worst thing you could do, is try to pet a service dog. The biggest thing is do not distract them. It's illegal for a reason, because it puts our lives at risk. So you can ask the handlers, do you mind if I pet your service dog? Some may let you. Sometimes when I'm feeling okay, I might let someone pet him just really fast. But don't, when you pet the dog, don't hold their face, don't rub them, don't continue to stay right in their face, don't do a bunch of talking to them. When we say, yes, you can pet our service dogs, we mean you can pet the service dog. So just do a quick 1 or 2 pets and say, okay, thank you so much, I appreciate that. But don't try to sit there and do a long interaction or really engage the dog, because you don't want the dog to get too unfocused from the handler. You want to go to do your quick pet and then step back and let the dog refocus on the handler so it can help with the handler's medical issues. Give me 1 more second. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. You keep wanting little snacks, so I keep giving him snacks. But, so yes, by all means, you know, you can talk to the handler. You can check on them if they seem like something's wrong. You know, just never interact with the dog. And it's like I said a minute ago, it's illegal for a reason. Our lives literally are in the paws of our dogs. And so we rely on them to have independence. We rely on them to try to live a normal, every day-to-day life. And so I guess I really hope this video kind of helps. And like I was saying earlier, you know, don't try to interact with the dog at all. Don't kissy noises. Don't smooch at them. Don't try to whistle. Don't try to call them from afar. Literally do not interact with the dogs at all, because you never know if the dog is in training, if the dog is having a bad day, because like I said, they are not robots. You know, just because they're trained does not mean that they will never get distracted. And just because they're trained does not ever mean that they won't have an off day. So never interact with them, because again, you don't know if is the dog new, is it new in training, is it new in learning, or is this a fully trained dog but maybe it's having an off day. We don't want to interact with the dogs at all. So it's kind of like saying you wouldn't go up to someone's wheelchair and try to pet their wheelchair or talk to their wheelchair or mess with their wheelchair in any way. It's the same thing with our service dogs. In the eyes of federal ADA laws, service dogs are classified as medical equipment. Now, of course, to us, they are so much more than that. They are our family, they're our friends, we love them, and you know, they're our heroes. But in the eyes of the law, they're medical equipment. So you wouldn't mess with someone's wheelchair, someone's oxygen tank, so you don't mess with our service dogs. So again, guys, I really hope this video helps everyone learn a little more about service dogs and what maybe you should or should not do, and you know, why things are illegal the way they are, because a lot of people are not aware of the laws. So if this video helped, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell button to be notified every time we upload. So alright, guys, and oh, also don't forget we have Instagram. It's the same name, Service Dog Paws. Y'all can check us out there. We're very active on there. We post a lot on there, so y'all can keep up with us there as well. Bye, guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.